Alright, it's me, the guy who sucks at intros. Whoa, where'd I go? Um, Somewhere. I think last time I played like seriously in draft was like 2 years ago. Somehow I found myself back in the draft community. If you've seen any of my videos before, you probably know that I typically do like these really big slideshows to my draft analysis. I ain't got time for that. I got chicken tenders in the oven. I'm trying to pass time till those come out. So low key, I'm trying to keep this quick. I hate draft analysis anyways. I hate doing them. It just feels kind of like it's just kind of saying, oh yeah, I picked this Pokemon because it's cool. Okay, this Pokemon's good. I picked it. Yep, this Pokemon's also good. This was just a low tier pick. Like, I feel like you're not really saying a lot of very valuable information. And a lot of people don't really sit through it because they're usually pretty long videos, and they can get really boring sometimes. And people would rather watch the intense action from the battles. That's what people come for. And unfortunately, I'm not really doing that with draft analysis. So I'm gonna make this brief. You already see our first pick up here. Kingdom of Gumidra. I don't know if it's Kingdom of Gumi, Kingdom of Gudra, or Kingdom of Goomdra. Something like that. Ran by Gumi, obviously. The actual Pokemon Gumi does in fact run this league. But yeah, we joined. It's a Natdex league. It's a Terra preview, and we drafted 2 Terra captains. And I will tell you who those are when we get to them. That's all the intro stuff, I think, so I think let's just get into this. I'd pick 7. Pretty horrible pick, but, you know. My boy got to me, Brad. I think we all know Brad. Brad's a legend here. Brad is a legend. We don't even address it by its Pokemon alias, because it's just Brad. It has no other thing besides just being Brad. And being Brad, this is a non-complex bad Brad, so that means that this funny move, where is it? This funny move exists. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Sorry, I'm a little sick here, so I'm kind of like might just cough my lungs out in the middle of the recording. But it's pretty cool. I like that. I know I've never done it, but I just love. There's not. If you want to hear me yap about Darkrai all day, you can go watch my other draft analysis because I've drafted this thing before, and I have yapped about it before. Y'all have already heard that. Y'all already know about Darkrai. It is my second highest kill leader, only one below Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade is also undrafted in this league, so Robo's probably very happy about that. But yeah, it's really good coverage, and it's just it has SD if I ever wanted to run that. No, I think I only ran SD Darkrai like once in all the time that I've used this thing. But yeah, Brad. Oh my bad, SD Brad. I'm calling it by the wrong thing, Brad. There is a nickname theme, but Brad is excluded because it's always Brad. Really fast, really strong, and I like this item a lot. Okay, next pick. I wanted a Fairy Resist. I got High Power the Heatran. Most people, if you could, I'm not gonna say the nickname until we get to like 3 or 4 mountains in, because by then I think I'm gonna give you guys a bit of time to figure out the theme if you don't know what it is already. You got High Power the Heatran. Mainly it's a Fairy Resist, and it's also just a really good mon. Heatran. I wanted to secure a really well-rounded steal early on, so I did kind of reach a bit. I took it round 2, but I think it worked out pretty well for me. Good rocker, good attacker. It's really good offensively as well. So I mean, offensive sets are always the option with Heatran, but you never really know where we're gonna running with it. But you know, Flame Body, it's just pretty annoying. Heatran's really annoying to kill. It's really hard to kill. And I think it's just a fun one to use in general. It's pretty hard. I think it's my first time ever actually drafting it. I think I've only had it in the speed tours before, but even there I loved it. I mean, it's good Fairy Resist, which is good for a Darkrai or Brad, who Brad really hates fairies, and this thing kind of gives a giant middle finger to fairies. But I mean, there's not anything you can say about Heatran that hasn't been said before. Now the next mon, if you just known me, you know how much I hate this mon. You know how bad I think it really is. But unfortunately, it's a new gen. You know, maybe times have changed, and that goes for Euphoria the Garchomp. Times have, I guess, I'm just hoping times have changed with the good old chompers here. The only Garchomp set I've ever used that I ever had any like productivity with was Choice Band. That set was pretty goated. That's like the only time I was like, yeah, Chomp's a good mon, because I think he had like his only ground resist was like a really weak grass type, and it just got decimated, and it was so funny. I think it was like a TSC Urs thing. I forgot that league existed low-key. I had like a Mega Gengar or something like that. I did bad though, so you know, it's real. We exclude it from my memory. But yeah, it's Garchomp. I mean, It's a rocker. I mean, it's more fairy weaknesses, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and I think I didn't draft another fairy weakness the whole draft, so I didn't draft the fighting type, obviously, because I felt so insecure about my fairy weaknesses already. And when mods like Iron Val exist, you kind of can't really have just fairy weaknesses like that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm spitballing at this point, but it's Garchomp. I also do. I think defensive Chomp has a lot of good matchups in this league. So even though I still don't like Garchomp, I'm hoping he proves me wrong. I really am, because I really want to like this thing. So I'm hoping he kind of proves me wrong here. But yeah, that's Garchomp. I mean, everybody knows Garchomp. Scale Shot SD. You got your bulky defensive Chomps, which, like I said, FizzDef Chomp has a lot of good matchups in this league. Um, so does like offensive Chomp. Just Chomp has a lot of good matchups in this league in general. So that's pretty cool, I think. And yeah, it's just Chomp. I mean, it's Chomp. You can't say much else about it. And I like the synergy with the Heatran because it has this huge ice resist. So it's kind of like gives a big middle finger to every ice that's not named Kyurem. We'll talk about Kyurem later because I have a plan for that. But yeah, that's enough for Chomp. I mean, you know him. You know him. You probably love him. I don't. Anyways, next up we have Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter, our Mega Carnivore. By now, you should get the nickname theme by now. If you don't, you should definitely get it by now. I'll reveal it after I do the last mon, because if you don't know it by the last mon, you're uncultured in a lot of ways. So why did I make a guard? Because it's cool. There was not much reason. I just saw Mega Guard and I was like, you know what, Mega Guard looks pretty good with these first three, and it did, and I think it fit really well with this whole team. It's a fun mon. It hits freaking hard. I mean, it's not the best defensive fairy, but like, we don't talk about that because I have a really good steel type, so I'm not super scared of dragons in general. I have a really good steel type. I have a dragon that threatens them. I have a Darkrai or a Brad that has Ice Beam and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that I know Spatial Ren Brad, because why not? The tech sometimes. You gotta get a little fancy with it. But yeah, I mean, Pixelate, Hyper Voice, Psychic Psy Shock, Future Psy, Mystical Fire. Like even knockoff is like a good like every now and then. And hey, Alluring Voice can be some secret tech sometimes, and I'm not opposed to tech sometimes. Destiny Bond also tech. Calm Mind, not honestly a non-viable set. Overall, it just has a lot of really cool things it can do. Mainly it's just a special nuke. Of course, it has a higher special attack than Brad. Like, come on. But it just hits really hard. Hyper Voice just hits things. It goes through subs as well, so that helps a lot for people that are gonna try to set up subs on me. Alright, good. People trying to set up subs on me though. But just the basic. And being a guard. I'm saying a lot, so I need to top that a bit. Okay, next up we got Crobat. What the hell was Crobat's name again? See, after this point you'll see I don't have them named. What was Crobat again? Frick. Oh, Crobat was Love. Crobat, so we have Love, our Crobat. For everyone saying, why Love? Because it evolves through friendship. So, it's Love. Low-key, I don't know why the hell I picked this thing. And also, it's a Terra Cap. It's our first Terra Cap. And our second Terra Cap is not going to be what you think it is. It's, I don't know. I think I've used Crobat before in like 1 or 2 leagues. And I still don't know what the hell this thing is here for. It's fast, it has removal, it pivots, but like, what the hell does it do? The only idea I have for this damn thing is like, Terra, where the frick is Terra Flying? Terra Flying, like, freaking Banded Bat, like, freaking, the Brave Bat, that kind of stuff, but like, what good does that do? And also, it's like it's the real lack of Poison Stab, so like, unless I wanted to go Terra Poison, but Terra Poison is very bad, I'm not trying to do that, so I don't know why I picked this thing. If I drop anything on this team, it'll probably be this, but I can't figure anything out that I really like. I mean, I like this team. I think Crobat's a little awkward. I feel like it kind of messed up my draft a little bit, but, watch it be my kill leader. I'm going to try to get this thing to work hard, work hard. Crobat, don't fail me. Anyways, next up we have our Trash Toys, and it wouldn't be a me draft if there wasn't Trash Toys on it. I'd pick this thing more often than I'd like to admit. You'd probably think this is my next Terra Captain, but that would be smart, and I'm not smart, so I didn't really do that. It's just a Blastoise. Also, Blastoise's name is "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst," or just Samidot. you know, an abbreviation, but you know, Sing About Me, I'm Dying on Thursday is what we're actually naming it after. Um, all I'm gonna say is bulky water smash toys. Those are like the two sets you're really ever gonna see on this thing, and I love my bulky Blastoise. If you've seen any of my teams in the past, you would know I love my bulky Blastoise. You know, removal, pivot, and can just withstand a lot of hits. I'm not a big Smash Toys user, but I do think I would love to use it a little bit more in this gen. You know, I didn't really haven't really exploited its full potential, and Shell Smash is a ridiculously broken move. So, I mean, come on, like there's not much else you can say about good old Trash Toys that hasn't already been said. You know, it's Blasters. We all know Trash Toys. We all love Trash Toys. You know, nothing other changes about that. And I'm calling it Trash Toys, but I genuinely think this is one of the best bulky waters in draft. At least once you get under that like 12-point value, it's one of the best bulky waters in draft around the mid-tier value because it's just that freaking good, and I love it. Anyways, next up we have Porygon Z, who will be named N95. N95 are Porygon Z. It's our Terra. Porygon Z is also a Terra captain. So our two Terra captains are Crobat and PZ. And it's just because there's this really funny move called Tri Attack. Where the frick is Tri Attack? There you go. Tri Attack, Choice Specs, Terra Normal, Adaptability. You basically get triple stab. And also, I'm gonna go check out Steam real quick, so I'm gonna take a little pause here. My chicken tender's already, and I'm a happy man now. Where were we? Oh yeah, question of the day, I guess. What sauce are you guys for chicken tenders? Like, I like buffalo barbecue myself, probably. I got that great value buffalo sauce from that. We ain't got any barbecue. But anyways, getting back on track, Pokemon, right? This thing, it's cool. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty freaking amazing. It's actually really, really cool. Terra Normal is gonna be its main Terra type. Maybe if I can really see like a Terra Fire, a Terra Fighting, a Terra Ground to try to like beat a Steel type. But I mean, if I need to beat a Steel type, I think I have a Garchomp, which I know bad, you know, bad Chomp. Garchomp more like garbage Chomp. Hey, but other than that, I got a Heatran as well. So I mean, I'm not too worried about Steels in general, but it is definitely a thing I think to kind of worry about with all this. But a lot of Steels take a lot of damage anyways from this, so especially if you can kind of wear them down throughout the game, they eventually can't really beat the PZ. The only thing holding it back is its speed. A base 90 is not really that good. But again, Scarf's also an option, and yeah, Scarf's an option. If you want one like Life Orb Agility, that's also an option. So also that are pretty valid. And then next Pokemon. Oh no, I drafted Delmise. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Not me, not anybody in the draft server, not anybody in the world. Just kidding, it's me. You knew I was drafting Delmise. Delmise is a plant. What better name than Money Trees? Come on, you have to know the theme by now. If you don't, you're very uncultured. And we're getting to our last three picks here. Delmise is pretty cool. I like it. It's removal, and I think it's super underrated in draft. I think it's way better than the Decidueye. Everybody picks the Decidueye because the Decidueye is the, oh my god, it's the pivot, it has U-turn. Oh, no, draft player, I have two brain cells, one is Stealth Rocks, one is U-turn. And, you know, I mean, yeah, doesn't have any of those, but, you know, it's the pretty basic thing. I mean, knockoff, it's my first really reliable knockoff spammer. So, knockoff's not a very strong suit my team has, but, you know, I mean, it's nice to have sometimes. I mean, offensive Delmise can go crazy some matchups. I've seen it happen before. I think I've done it too. But just Fizdef is so hard to beat. It's a great ground resist, and I really love it. I think it's so underrated in draft. People sleep on this thing, people undervalue it, but let me tell you, it is good. Freaking Gotenmon. And of course, Steelworker is really a really fun ability. Let stuff like Anchor Shot be pretty interesting to use. I think especially Anchor Shot could be pretty interesting because if they don't really have a lot of things that want to stay in with Delmise, it can be a pretty interesting set. But I think, especially if you want to run like SD, they don't really have a lot that can switch it. I haven't looked much at offensive Delmise's matchup so far, but I can always see myself bringing it to a match or two. But I am more of an defensive Delmise believer, but I think its offensive capabilities are heavily slept on. But there's not a lot more to talk about Delmise. I mean, it's Delmise. Anyways, Raikou. Raikou's name is U. Why? Because I didn't have any to pimp a butterfly representation, so I just named it U. that's why I stand you, because well, we didn't have any representation then. I knew people would scream at me for not representation for that exact album. You should definitely know it by now. Anyways, I have drafted Raikou, I think maybe once or twice. I love it. I think it's a really great speed tier. I think, of course, Volt Switch, Scald, you know, it's probably just piss, but, you know, we ignore that. We ignore that. We ignore these specifics. We don't question Pokemon logic. Anyways, Supercell Slam is a physical move, so, you know, the physical Raikou, they don't play. The cursed Raikou. The cursed Raikou is happening, and you can't stop it. Okay? But I just think it's a pretty cool mod in general. It hits pretty hard. Calm Mind sets are really viable. Offensives like Life Forward, Choice Spec sets are also really viable. And it's got a lot of really cool things it can do. I mean, it can function as a breaker, it can function as a cleaner, or it can just function as an offensive pivot, which I think is what I've liked a bit the most. I just really like that it has Scald to help beat ground types. Because when it comes to ground types, it helps you get great damage, even kill some that are a little bit weaker in health already. And with grass types, you just Volt Switch on them. And if you can Volt Switch on a grass type prediction properly, you can just get straight into Heatran, and Heatran gets free rocks or gets a free lava plume or even magma storm on something, and it's just a pretty useful mod in general. I love it. Wish it had better abilities, but you know we don't really question it too much, you know. But you gotta love the Raikou. I love Raikou, and I think that it's a great mod. Anyways, our last mod is the best mod on our draft. It's the Dewgong. We have Not Like Us, our Dewgong. You should know by now, the nickname is Kendrick Lamar songs. Because they are truly not like us. You know, we're out here drafting Dewgong. And I'm a Dewgong believer. I have 7 kills with Dewgong. It's number 20 on my all-time kill leaderboard if you want to know how good Dewgong is. It's literally, I have 7 kills with this thing. Dewgong is slept on. It should not be 1 point. It should be 2 points. And I'm going to prove that. I'm a Dewgong believer. Knockoff. Flip turn. What are you going to do when I run Choice Band to Dewgong, huh? What are you going to do about that? Ice Spinner. This thing is literally goated and everybody is sleeping on it. We're going to wake him up. Dewgong is going to come to a few games this season, and it's going to show you what it can do. The defensive capabilities of this thing are honestly very surprising. Its bulk isn't horrible, but Thick Fat makes it basically an insane ice resist, because it basically takes only 1/8 damage from ice type attacks. That's crazy. Like, Dewgong is on a different level of goated, and it's time people see that. And I'm gonna show the Kingdom of Goomja just that. So anyways, that's draft analysis. It's enough yapping from me for today. Bye.